Hey there, how you doing? I am just getting on just for a couple minutes because today is Wednesday, the day after New Year's, and it felt like the most Monday Wednesday ever. I've been off from work since Friday, right? Did I go in Friday? No, I was off Friday. So, see, I don't even know what day it is. So I was off work for 5 straight days for New Year's, and it was absolutely awesome. I didn't do a lot of peopling. I didn't do a lot of anything. I just kind of chilled out and enjoyed myself. I did a couple podcasts, but I pretty much did a lot of like internal work. Like I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of personal development and stuff like that. And when I had realized that I had to go to work today, I was super grumpy. I was so grumpy. I was so grumpy. Like I literally couldn't fall asleep last night. I was that grumpy about going to work today, which is ridiculous because like my job isn't that terrible, but I was just so grumpy. Like when you have a couple days off, it's so hard to go back. So when I woke up, I was like, okay, you know what? How can I change this? Because I don't want to go in and be that person. Like all the personal development I did all weekend, like I had to figure out a way to not be a jerk today when I went to work. So what I did was, if you've seen any of the other videos that I've posted, that's something that I've really been working on is being more intentional about my day and being more intentional about my attitude. So I set some goals over New Year's, like everyone does. I don't call them resolutions. I call them more intentions. So my intentions were I want to make sure I meditate daily. I want to make sure that I read the Bible daily. I want to make sure that I journal daily. So what I did this morning was I literally got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I'm still awake now because I have to do a podcast in an hour because, it's pretty cool. I mean, I love what I do, so I'm excited about the podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, so what I did this morning was I got up and I slept in a little bit later than I normally would, but I still got up and I still did all the things. Like I made sure that I read my Bible, and that's really important to me because my faith is actually really important. You may not know that from the way that I talk a lot or some of the stuff the way I act a lot, but my faith is so important to me. So I got up and I made sure I did my 2 devotions. I'm doing a devotion with a girl in California, so I made sure that I did that, and then I also did my daily reading, and I did my meditation, and meditation is awesome. If you're not someone who meditates or thinks you can't, I'd really challenge you to try, because meditation is awesome because it doesn't necessarily clear your mind, but it just makes you truly focus on the moment, and it's a lot of breathing, and oxygen is really important to your body, in case you didn't know that. So I did that, and then the other thing I did was I did a little journaling, and I found that gratitude journaling is something that really helps to shift. So the first thing I wrote in my gratitude journal was, even though I was grumpy about going to work, what is this string here? Sorry guys, it's like cold, but it's hot. My apartment's a really weird temperature, so you get the scarf look today. Anyway, so the first thing I wrote in my gratitude journal was that I'm thankful to have my job because it pays all my bills and it affords me to live in an apartment instead of on the street. And so I made sure that was the first thing. I intentionally was grateful for my job, even though sometimes I'm really grumpy about it. So that's something I did. And yeah, so I did, I journaled on gratitude, and then I set intentions for the day. And the reason I want to talk about intentions is because I think so many times we let life dictate us. We let life dictate our attitude. We let other people's energy dictate how we act toward them. And so instead of letting my day dictate for me what I was doing, I dictated my energy toward the day. And I was grateful for my job. And then I set intentions that I wanted to go into work today, and I wanted to serve the people that I'm there to serve. Like, I'm the manager, I'm supposed to be the leader. So going in there and being grumpy isn't helping anyone. It's not helping me, it's not helping them. So what I did was I set an intention this morning of being grateful, but I also set an intention of going in and serving not only my staff, but serving my patients in the best way I could. And it was funny because this afternoon I talked to this guy, and he called and he was like, he was kind of grumpy about, I don't even remember what he was grumpy about. Oh, he wanted to make an appointment. And I was like, yeah, well, next appointment's in April. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I know. And like, I said something I don't even know what I said to him. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know why this is all coming to me, but it was funny because he said, he called it like 4:15, and I was like, oh, he's like, do you have any cancellations? I said, yeah, I have one at 3 o'clock. That was like an hour and 15 minutes ago. And he was like, I called at noon and you didn't have that appointment. That must be new. I was like, wow. I was like, I schedule better than I do. You're like my new favorite patient. And he burst into laughter. He was laughing so hard. And I was like, and then he was like, yeah, well, I know I'll be able to call and get an appointment. I was like, hey, you're the patient of the year to me. And like, we got talking, and like, he has to like pre-medicate it an hour before. He's like, yeah, I couldn't even if you called me and said I had an appointment now, I couldn't even come in because I have to take my medicine. And I was like, well, we have it here. He's like, I have it too. I was like, so you know my schedule better than me, and you have your medicine on you? My God, you're like my new hero. You're like, and I told him, I was like, today is January 2nd, and you have made my whole year. My year cannot get any better than it is right now. And he was laughing so hard, and he was like, you know what? It sucks that you don't have an appointment. He said, but I really needed the laugh. And I was like, you know what? I needed the laugh too, because I was really grumpy coming in here, and this is like the reason I'm here. And he was like, he was in stitches, and like, it wasn't even anything, like I wasn't intentionally amusing him or trying to make him laugh, but it was fantastic. And I told him, I was like, hey, anytime you need a laugh, you just call me and you talk to me. And that, I really believe that the reason I was able to have that interaction with that man is because this morning I set an intention that I wasn't going to be grumpy about going into work. I was going to go into work with a good attitude. I was going to be productive. I was going to get everything done that I needed to get done, and I was going to do it with a good attitude. And did I have a couple shitty moments? I would be a liar if I told you I didn't have shitty moments, because like, it's not always easy to be in a good, positive, uplifting mood all the time. But overall, the reason I think I didn't have a terrible day today was because I set an intention this morning. So if you're watching this video, and I hope you are, I just want to really encourage you that the next time you have to go into a situation where you're not overly excited, you're not like, yes, I am so excited I have to go to the dentist. I am so excited I have to go to work where everyone's angry and bitter, or I'm so excited. I just want you to set an intention. Or even like family gatherings. A lot of times for people, family gatherings are really rough. And I know like this holidays are behind us, thank God. But if you have to go to a family gathering, set an intention that you are gonna create the energy. You have the power to create the energy that you want. So I just want to like really encourage you, if you're watching this, set the intention. You set the tone. You set the tone for every interaction that every person you come across. You can set the energy. You don't have to let other people dictate the energy that's on the call that you're on, that you interact with. When you go to the Starbucks, you set the energy. Go in and be like, hey, how are you? Have a great day. Like, and even if you're not necessarily fully feeling it, just by being expressive like that and expending positive energy, it's going to come back on you. There's a huge amount of reciprocity when what you put out into the universe comes back to you. What you put out into the world comes back to you. If you're a Christian, what you sow, you reap. So make sure that you're going out in the world and you're reaping good things, and set your intention when you walk out your door to do that. Because you know what? We have so many people who are absolutely miserable. Like, why? Why should any of us be miserable? Like, life is way too short to be miserable. So I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this video, whenever you watch this video, just know that the power of your day, of how your day goes, is yours. And it really starts before you even get out of bed in the morning. Get yourself a journal and just set some intentions and be grateful. You don't have to read the Bible, you don't have to meditate, but I really think that if more of us practiced gratitude, then more of us would practice empathy, and the world would be a much, much, much better place. Okay, so that's all I've got for you. I'm going to caffeinate or something so that in 50 minutes I'm like excited for my podcast, okay? And if you're watching this, you definitely should check out the podcast, the VIP Ignite Live podcast. It's pretty awesome. I have some great guests coming up, and we have some great stuff on the horizon, so I'm really excited. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of these lives, but I also podcast nearly every day, so if you want more of Deneen, that's how you get it. All right, well, thank you so much. If I haven't already told you, Happy New Year. Make sure that before you leave the house tomorrow morning, you set your intentions. Be positive, okay? Go out and make the world a better place. Be a day maker. Have a great night.